everyone, we are back again. We're at it, just painting this on wire. I am going to give everyone a couple minutes to start filtering in. Tonight, I am going to be using Prima's basic quality art brushes, and I will tell you, they're very nice. I absolutely love them. And I love that they've got kind of a longer handle, especially when you're working on larger pieces. Hey, listen, as you come on, tell me where you're from and say hey. Everybody say hey. Anyway, I'm excited about what we're going to do tonight. Like I said, and I'm in front of the Armoire, so whenever a few more people come on, I'll step aside and you're going to see what I did so far. And tonight we are going to dress our pretty lady, and I'm going to go ahead and step aside, and you can see I've just got her sketched in a little bit with paint, and I went ahead and I did her eyes or her head. Let me show you. Hi Deb, where are you from? I'm so glad you've joined us. As you guys come on, let me know who's on here. Hold on just a second. I'm going to bring you closer so you can see what we're working on. Here we go. Isn't she going to be pretty, you guys? So I'm going to bring you a little closer again so you can see. I wanted you to see right here her brim of her hat. Can you see exactly where she hit middle? Right where this stupid thing is. So here I am trying to draw and trying to paint this, and the eyes were looking all crookedy and everything because of this lip right here. So you know what I did? I just gave her a hat and then did her mouth and a little bit of her nose. This is an impressionistic type look. That was the 1920s, wasn't it? And I'm going to bring you guys up just a tad. Here we go. So you can see. So we are going to, you can kind of see I added some color over here. It actually implements this color here. And we are going to keep going with that idea. Let me get my spray bottle. Probably should set it on top because I don't want the color. Prima Impasto paints, if you guys haven't had them, they are, and where did I lay my brushes? Oh, here they are, up here too. So let me get a wide brush. And so since they're kind of a heavy body paint, which I absolutely love, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to real freely add a little bit of our color that is in our cherry blossoms. And I just thought that would kind of give interest to this piece. I mean, I could even go up here. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to add a little bit of color just through here. Let's put just a little bit by her hat. And you say, Carolyn, how do you know to do that? I don't know. I can't tell you how I know. I just start working and it feels like a good idea. I try it, and if it doesn't work, I can paint over it because you know what? It's just paint, right?
Deb says she loves your shirt.
Well, thank you, Deb. I mean, it's starting to get nice out, huh? So we want to quit. I mean, my whole wardrobe, just about, you guys, I feel like is black. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to put...
Are you charging up on that?
A little more. Yeah, you can use it, honey. I'm going to use a little more of the color, and then I am going to get my spray bottle. And I'm just going to let that run just a little bit. We'll just let that run a little bit, and then when it gets down to here, I'll just wipe it off while it's wet. We'll just let some of those runs just, oh, That'd be almost like our cherry tree is, I'm just going to let it run, let it run, let it run. But tonight, you guys, we are going to put her some clothes on. Put your clothes on, lady.
Put your pants on, mama, now.
I'm too sexy for clothes. We're going to put her some clothes on. But you know, the 1920s, honestly, you guys, they were kind of filled with a lot of trauma, weren't they? And I did not turn my do not disturb on, and I thought I did, but I don't want to mess with it because I will mess it up. Let me put just a little bit of color here. Oops, that was a little much. So if it's a little too much, I just spritzed it and rubbed it out a little bit. You know, someone last night said, Carolyn, could you make a mistake and then show us how you fix it? Mm-hmm. Believe me, tonight you will get to see that happen. I promise you that. Okay, so I went ahead, I sketched in a little bit of whatever I want. And we are going to start filling her dress up. And right now, I'm going to go in and I'm going to start painting. And you can kind of see, I'm just using almost like a circle turn.
So we can see what you're doing.
Okay. Okay, we are going to... You'll have to kind of tell me.
It's behind. You know.
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is she kind of has maybe one of those like sparkly stole type things. And I just want, since I've already got colored down, I don't necessarily have to come in and fill this whole thing up. And we're just going to kind of paint that button. That's the button that, I'm glad Bethany's here. It's hard when you're by yourself because you, we're going to go over here like this.
Yeah, that's better. If you start going down, we just need to do it down.
Well, you kind of watch that for me because I'm bad. Yeah. My girls in my group say, you're painting off the canvas, but you kind of get going and just kind of get going. Let's put her a big stole on. And like I said, I came in and just kind of gave myself a little bit of guidelines so I'm not up here. And I want to put her stole in first. We're going to put her some feathers and stuff up here, but if they come down here, then what we will do is go back in.
Deb Close said that's much better, thank you. So
good.
And Deb Oliver,
I'm
glad I'm here too.
I'm glad you're here. There's nobody here that I would like to not come.
No, she said we're glad Bethany is here. So
oh, glad Bethany's here. Yes, absolutely. Do I need to back it up just a tad, honey?
No, because if you do, then you're not going to see as well. Because we can see your strokes that way.
Okay. Well, you tell me when it needs to back up a little bit, because I'm going down here.
Well, what I'll do is I'll just move the camera down.
All right. And I'm just doing just that kind of a half circle motion, just to, because you don't want to do straight lines. Why? Because this stole is coming right here. All right. So, and then we've got her other side is going to come right here and come down. that in.
Jeff Oliver said, I like that hat covering her face. It makes her look mysterious.
Yes, yes, and I didn't have to do eyes. That was a wonderful thing. So, let's see, right here, let me get a different size brush. Honestly, you guys really need to get these brushes. They're just wonderful. I'm going to say that's probably a 1/2 inch brush there. And I think what I want to do here, let me think for a minute. I'm thinking what I want to do here is I'm going to come up with some of this fuchsia. And we're just going to put her, maybe I need to go this way and down. We're just going to put her just some stuff. I don't know what it is.
Like feathers.
Maybe little feathers, but they're not really feathers.
I think they're peacock feathers.
Oh, not
The one that
peacock.
twirl like that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, there's some kind of feather, but I forget what they are.
Okay, when I'm painting, you guys, I never do, very seldom do I do anything one color, because nothing is one color. Did you know that? You've got highlights, you've got even a black. If you're doing a black, actually to do a good black, you have to make it look like it has, maybe I need a different brush. Let me get a thinner brush. Nope, I'm throwing it at you, Bethany. Okay, so there we go. Get me a liner brush. I don't know what I'd do without liner brushes. Okay, we're just going to put some of these in here just real quick. And maybe there's some of that blue-green color that I mixed. And I mixed it, let's see, I mixed it with my Manor Blue and Bottle Green. So I mixed it with Manor Blue and Bottle Green to get my own color. And that's not going to show up. So let's see right here. I'm going to put just a little bit of this cobalt in here. Okay, then I'm going to come in right here. I'm going to put a thicker line. And that might drip down there. When I'm painting, I'm going to do that just like that to give me a basis, because I'm going to give her some flowers right there. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in here with some white. White is good amongst all of this, isn't it? Okay, and I'm going to come into the ivory color. And I'm just going to give the thought of a feather. Now, if I wanted to, and I might do it later, I could come in and do a lot more detail on that feather. We'll just pull this down like this. Pull a little bit of this black down. So what have you guys been up to? It's beautiful in Oklahoma. It was a beautiful day. Okay, so I still think I want one coming through all of that color right there. And that's going to give a basis. Just kind of see, I'm going to come in here and just make that look like it's a little feathery, I'm just drawing that wet paint through, which is cool. You know, some people think that freehand painting is so hard. Honestly, the key word is free. You know, the freer you can get in your painting, the more you're going to come up with things you really like. It's when we get tied up. Okay, so now she's got a little bit of that. So let's come in here. I'm going to give her a basis. We're going to give her maybe, let's give her 2 flowers right here. These are what I call my messy roses, because, you know, they just don't have any rhyme or reason to them. They just kind of look messy. And if you need to add more dark colors, you can. You can just keep working with it until you like it. But like I said, in the 1920s, you know, that the Art Deco look, they didn't do a lot of detail, did they? We're just going to put a little, maybe a couple little leaves right here. I did want to mention that those of you who have not liked my page, Ransomed Relics, that's where I'm from, I would love you to go to my page and like my page. And there's her hat, you guys, and I think she needs a band on her hat, don't you? So maybe let's do a white band coming, because that'll show up real good, won't it? And I'm painting sideways, so you guys can see, but I can't too much. Okay, and then now we'll just make that work. There you go. See, messed up. There you go. And I think I want to bring just a little bit of white like that. All right, let me kind of get to the front because I feel like that's very crooked. Now, when you're painting, the reason why you get different looks is because you should be adding highlights. Everything is about light. When you're painting something, everything is about the light. If you can't see light in your painting, then you've got a pretty boring painting, don't you? And so that really is what this is about. And I don't like that being quite as white, so what do? I come in with that color, and I might have to do this after it dries. And then I want to put just some highlights on this hat. Why? Because it gives, and you can just see I'm just doing little squiggly lines. What does that do? All of a sudden, that added depth and perception to that hat. All right, now we are going to, Bethany, you want to put that down? I think I'm going to go ahead and work down here. I think we're going to get to where we're adding her dress. And, oh, you know what? I bet you I probably need to add her hand. So I will mix my own colors for her hand. And she's got to have a hand. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put a little bit of linen right here on my palette. This is just linen. And you can kind of see this was the color I did her little chin with. You see how much paint I had on there? That's because I was redoing everything. Okay, and so I'm going to put a little bit of brown in it. Say, how do you make a flesh tone? Well, we're going to make one right now. I'm going to put just a little bit of yellow in it. Put too much yellow in it. So we'll go back here with the linen. And then I want just a tad bit of red in there. Probably put too much red in it. But you know what? That's how you learn to mix your colors. As you mix your colors, you learn what it takes. And I want just a teensy, I'm talking teensy, little bit of blue in there. Okay. So.
The light's kind of reflecting. Oh, no, that's all right. You're fine.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
All right. So we are going to add her hand coming up here, and her hand is going to go this way, just like that, kind of curl over. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is, because this would be down here on the shadow, I'm going to add shadow here. Just like that, and probably around there. Okay, now that looks kind of funny, just like that, doesn't it? I'll probably come in here and add just a little bit of outline of red. And then I'm going to get a smaller brush, and I will probably make this really, define it later on. But let's give her a string of pearls. They always had pearls back then.
Michelle Porter posted and said, finally I found the live video. Hi Carolyn, hi all.
Hey,
from
hey,
Madison,
Michelle.
Alabama.
Awesome. Hey, Michelle. I sure appreciated your comments today on my page. I really appreciated them. Now, they don't look perfect, and that's okay, because we'll bring it up to the arm. We'll come around here. And that's okay, because after this dries, I will come back in and I will give some purpose. And maybe we've got multiple strands here. And we're just going to put them in here, let them crisscross. Maybe this one's going to hang down here. And you guys, like I said, once I get this painted, if I don't like it, oh well. I can go in and I can change it. Okay, and that looks kind of silly right now. But if I go in and start trying to round that, what's going to happen is that I'm going to lose the whiteness, so I want to let that dry. So I am going to go ahead and highlight her hand like this. So you can kind of see her hand is going up. And just blend that in a little bit. All we're doing right now is we're doing just things that are very impressionistic, because that's the way that this is. Okay, use your fingers. You can blend with your fingers. Okay, now we're going to go down here, and her other hand is probably going to go about down like this. And there again, it's impressionistic, isn't it? And I will fine tune it off camera. So I just want to leave that there just for a minute and let that dry, because what's going to happen then is we're going to come back in with some more things too. So here's what I want to do now is I want to come in, I want to lay in the color of her gown. This is just part of the color of her gown. We're just going to lay that in, so I can kind of see where's what and what's going on here. And most of the time I never sketch, but if I was going live, I felt like, you know what, you guys would appreciate it if I went ahead and sketched it out, because you don't have to watch me make sure everything's...
I think that's part of her. That's a cape.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
That's part of her cape.
Yeah.
It is. It's part of her cape. You know, when you paint, you guys, it is just kind of like line upon line. I mean, it's not like you just go boom and it's all done. You know what I'm saying? It is, you work with it. You work with it until you get it where you want it to be. And I think I want this rounded like this, where that's going more down to a point. Can they see where I'm painting, honey? Because see, I can't see. So you'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to come in with white. I'm just going to bring a little definition here to her cape. Just going to bring little definitions here. Okay, and she's going to have some folds on her cape. And I just quickly mixed. And I can change these folds.
Barbara Phillips said, "Love your vision."
Thank you. So, you know how they come down here and they kind of get lighter. And then when I'm doing them, I always try to highlight one side of them most of the time. Because what that does is that gives a little bit of definition here, a little bit of realism. Now, I know I keep saying this, but this type of painting doesn't necessarily have to be realistic, and the reason why is it just isn't. I mean, like if you watch their paintings, you know, I got to get back and see because I can't see. All right, so that is just a preliminary, and then I'm going to bring and make that green color that I had pretty much up there. I love blue and green together. It's a beautiful combination. And so I didn't want it just blue and I didn't want it just green. So we are going to come in here. We're going to put a little bit of her dress in here. Okay. So now let's lay in her dress line, you guys. Bethany, you'll probably, honey, have to back that up or do whatever needs to be done with it, because I will...
Back it up too far, they can't see you painting though, that's the thing.
Yeah. So, you guys, we've only got 2 more nights to get this done. And tomorrow I am headed out to Texas to my son's. That is the whole reason why I moved here. I'm going to get down. I'm just kind of trying to see how I'm doing as far as... Ooh. Oh, what happened?
It's just really sensitive.
It is. Really is. All right. So we're just going to add some of this in. And let me show you guys what I did. I'll just take a little bit of this blue right here. And I will take a little bit of this green right there. And I'll just mix it up. Need a little more blue. All right, so where's my spritzer? So we're just kind of going to lay in her body here. And you'll just kind of see where she's coming to. And then that's when I can make adjustments to how thin she is, how fat she is, how long she is, and see if my proportions that I have on there match. Of course, it always feels like in the 1920s, they really, really did them really skinny and really tall. Did you notice that, Bethany?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they look really tall. Guess maybe they're supposed to be models or something. I don't know.
All of them.
Yeah.
They were thinner back then. I mean, if you look at the clothing.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, they were a lot thinner. They didn't have all that fast food we have. I mean, seriously, people were eating at home. I'm just going to let that lay right there. It's going to go all the way down here into our greenery. I always paint 90% of the time. Everything in the background gets painted first, and then I paint over.
Michelle said, "This is so beautiful."
Oh, yay.
Lauren Harrington said, "Bethany, how are you feeling?" I'm feeling great. Thank you for asking, Laura.
Yeah, she's helping her mama. So tomorrow night, you guys, we will work on the sides. I will be in Texas, like I said, but I will still be doing my live. I'm going to take this piece with me in the back of my van, and then we'll haul it in. It's a really light Armoire, so I'm not worried about it because it's real light. And we'll just take this in and we will work tomorrow night on the sides. I will finish her up once we get offline, because you guys know that there's no way I could do a finished piece in 4 hours. If I did, I would be making buku bucks. Let's see. I want to add a little bit. I want to do kind of like, let's see, almost like a shading here, where it's like.
Michelle said, "You're taking it with you? That's dedication or insanity."
Well, probably a little both. I didn't know I was going to Texas, or I was going to do the live anyway, and this was the only time I could do it. Kind of, starting with me coming back, because as you guys know, Miss Bethany was in the hospital for a little over a month. And then let's see, we're going to put a little bit of shading here. And we're going to come back in here and we're going to wrap this around. So that looks like it's going under. Then the next night, you guys, we'll be doing our embellishments. We'll be doing molds and different things like that, giving this thing the once over and making her look exotic and making the piece look very Art Deco. That's what we'll be doing. So, where are we at on our time, baby?
We are at 6:36.
Oh, we're doing good. We're doing good. So, now sometimes people find it very hard to paint fabric. In times past, I have too, but I've kind of learned, maybe not the trick of it, but I've learned that with fabric, you have to do it in layers, you know, and you have to make sure that, you know, when you're putting in your highlights and stuff, that your paint is dry so you can come back in. So all we're doing here is we're laying down the first layer of paint, and we are going to work. But so far, what are you guys thinking? Do you like it?
Deb Oliver said, "You're a brave woman. I hate packing clothes. I can't imagine packing furniture, paints, and brushes."
Well, you know, I had, this just came up where I was coming to see him. Actually, in Texas, there's a thing called High Point. No, it's not High Point. Round Rock. And it's a big thing that only happens twice a year. And so I wanted to be able, or I'd always wanted to go. And you guys, that's the reason why I moved halfway across the country, is because I never got to visit my designer son in Oklahoma or in Texas. And so it always felt like I was only seeing him one time a year. And after my husband passed away, it was like, you know what, I want to see him more. I want to be part of his life. And this has got to go like this. This has got to go like below that, and then I'll add another little area like this.
And Mary said, "I love watching it come to life."
Oh, good. Me too, Mary. Okay, and then maybe I might have one more here. Goes down like that. And then probably needs to be a little darker. I do too, Mary. And then, you know, and then what I really love to do is once I get the main idea down, I love to go in. My favorite thing is going in and critiquing it and making it look like I want it. Because sometimes when you do your first layer, you're going, Jiminy Christmas, did I really do that? You know? And I mean, I can't tell you how many times I got discouraged on painting something, and then I kept working at it. Painting takes a little time. It does. And it takes a perseverance, and it takes believing in yourself that, you know what, if I work hard enough, I'm going to make it happen. And you can. That's just the deal about it, is that you can. Okay, so I'm going to work on those folds. I'm not liking those. But then here, we're going to have an underskirt of the pink that's going to poke out from under this dress and flow back here. A lot of my paintings are pretty detailed. You know, you see people getting on and they're just doing these beautiful landscapes and different things like that. And that's fantastic. I love, 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 love watching. But if you really look at their work, it's not real detailed. It's, you know, more impressionistic, and which is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. But my work, you got to stay true to yourself. My work tends to be a little more detailed. You know, I love putting in the details. It's like, you know, when I put in that little fawn, you know, in my painting, and I'm trying to think if I think, I'm kind of thinking this pink needs to be a little wider. Now, if it doesn't need to be, I can take that out. Because when I come in here and I paint the folds on this, it'll just flow down. But I like detail. I like to be able to paint things in detail, and you know, and so if something hits me that I want to do, like that little fawn, I thought, well, it's springtime in my picture. Those of you who haven't seen it, you can go over and view it on Ransomed Relics. And I also have a group called Create with Carolyn, and it's a subscription group, and we have close to 80 ladies in there, and we paint every single month, and I teach them how to paint. So if there's any of you who would like to learn how to paint, I would love to learn or to teach you. So let's look at what we've got so far. Now here's her other arm coming out. Let's give that just a little bit of detail here. And tomorrow when you see her, she's going to have like a pink feather boa that's going to come through here. But I cannot do the boa until I finish her skirt. And I feel like that is a little too much of a dip right there. Right. I remember the first fabric that I ever painted. I worked so hard, and I think I want her dress to almost flow out a little bit right here. But when the first time I did fabric, I was like, you know, just, you know, like, wow, this is kind of hard to do. Fabric can be hard to do. It really can. And then we want to come down here, and we probably want to maybe just give a show. Since this is black, it's going to be very hard to see her slippers if we do in black, isn't it? So let's choose a different color, maybe that fuchsia color. Maybe that fuchsia color might be a good color to make her shoes. And it's just a suggestion there. We don't want to paint anything detailed down here, do we? I feel like her shoes should be the other way, so here we go. Messed up, here we go. Because her shoes are going to be pointing the other direction. They're going to be pointing that way, aren't they? Mm-hmm. So I put them the wrong direction. So see, there you go. That's how easy it is that you can fix something that you don't like. This is kind of new for me, you guys. It really is. I mean, I don't know that I've ever done anything quite like this, and that's okay. It just kind of come to me that this would be kind of cool to do. And so I'm just going to kind of do faint lines. And the thing about it is when you're working with a piece like this, you've got this raised area here. So you've got to work with that. And sometimes that's not the easiest to work with either, you know, because it messes up your scheme of things sometimes. So we're just going to give the idea that there's folds in this. This here, oh, that's way too much. That's okay though. That's totally okay. Because we can come back with our green and our blue, mix them up, and just kind of blend that out. Just going to blend that a little bit. Art takes time. If you do something, like I said, when you do something impressionistic, you can have it done in an hour's time. Sometimes even, you know, sometimes even shorter than that, you know. But when you do a little bit of detailed work, it's going to take a tad longer. Well, not a tad longer, a lot longer. Just because that's what you do. So I am going to do some impressionism. I love it. And my work is impressionistic to a point. But it's a more detailed, I think, impressionism.
Michelle said, when I paint, I lose track of time.
I do too, Michelle. I do too. I mean, I can be painting into the wee hours of the morning.
It's 6:50.
It's 6:50. All right, so we don't have much time, do we? So, let's see. And making fabric is about your lights and your darks. It's about making things look like crevices. And you know, guys, a good place to go, and I'm sure you guys do this all the time, but a great place to go is YouTube. I YouTube just about everything, you know, because it does help you learn. A good rule of thumb is that you want to make your stuff look and think about where is your light coming in. Your light is going to come into the tops of the folds, aren't they? And then your darks are going to be in the dark folds. So let's put a little bit of this darker green in here. One thing that I found out, one thing that I've grown, I feel like in my art, is that used to I thought, well, if you wanted to shade something, you shaded it with black. But that's not always the true, you know, what you should do. You should, a lot of times, not even use black, which on this I did use some black. but a lot of times you don't even want to use black because it's too harsh of a color. And you can get a more shaded look by working with, for instance, this dark green color. You know, that's going to give me a nice shading as I go. So, and have you ever seen those pictures where you never see the face? I can understand why, because faces are so hard to do. Now, there's some people that can do portraits, but they can't do a landscape to save their life. But to me, a portrait artist is about, to me, one of the best things. I mean, I want to accomplish that. That's one of my goals, is to accomplish portraits, because I love them. All right, you can kind of see how adding in that green has really touched off. Now, once this dries, and I did want to show you guys this, these are awesome colors from Prima. These are the Sparks, and they've got little bitty metallic looking paint. It's really beautiful. Just, can you hold that up there with me and let them see how pretty that is? Now, I'm going to see if this is going to work. It really probably needs to be dry, but we're going to give this a once over with some of this shiny, and we might not be able to see it till it dries, and then we probably will be able to see a shimmer. Let me see, I've also got this, which would be pretty to put on there. Let's see how that goes. But you can see, you guys, when I do my pieces, there is quite a bit of detail. Ooh, look at that. Isn't he pretty? This is, let me see if I can see the color. Stormy Ocean. Ooh, it's pretty. Look at that. And then that is going to shimmer in the light. As it dries, that will shimmer. Let's see, where's that? Right here. You can see how much she's come on this bottom area since we started, huh? All right, you guys, it looks like my time is up. I'm going to continue working here tonight after we get a little bit of dinner. We haven't even had dinner yet, so let's pull them back, honey, so they can see the whole thing. So you can see the start of Our Lady. See where she's come from so far, just in this little time that we've been together. And then you can kind of go down. And you can see her flowing. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, tomorrow night, I will see you. Let me get up here where I can see you. Tomorrow night, I'm going to see you in Texas. And I will tell you all about Round Rock and how cool it is. Hi, Ruth. So glad you watched. Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Mary. Patricia. Anyway, my hair's falling down. But we will come tomorrow night. And tomorrow night, we are going to add some finishing touches. We will go in. We'll do the sides. Hi, Susan. Glad you joined us. And I kind of like her Let's see if we can scoot it all the way back where you guys can really see the scope of the piece here. So you can kind of see the scope of the piece right there. Here, you can let go.
Oh,
Well, honey,
I was trying to lift it up so I could see.
you can
it
kind
straight
of
on.
see the scope of the piece right there. And we're going to add more cherry blossoms, you guys. And I think it's kind of looking good. And we've got Prima to thank for that, for all the beautiful paint. So I hope you've enjoyed this. And I'm going to see you tomorrow night, same channel, same time. All right, God bless.